Welcome to Grit and Gain, your backstage pass to professional success, a podcast designed to help young professionals navigate their careers and unlock their potential. I'm Marco Velasquez, your host, and each week I'm sharing professional lessons I've gathered over the past 25 years. Lessons from the ladder, real-world strategies and insights to empower you as you climb the professional ladder. Today we're talking about something that might make you a little uncomfortable, but it's one of the most powerful steps that you can take in your career. Asking the question, what is my brand? Now, when I say brand, I'm not talking about logos or slogans. I'm talking about your personal brand. How you show up in the workplace, how others perceive you, and what you're known for. Whether you realize it or not, you have a brand. Every email you send, every meeting you attend, every conversation you have contributes to it. But here's the thing. You only control so much of your brand. The rest is shaped by how others see you, and their perception is what truly matters. Today, we're going to explore why it takes courage to ask for feedback on your brand, why humility is necessary to receive it, and why investing in your personal brand is key to long-term success. So let's start by defining what a personal brand really is. At its core, your personal brand is the sum of the experiences, impressions, and qualities that others associate with you. It's how people describe you when you're not in the room. Are you seen as reliable, creative, a leader, or perhaps you're seen as someone who's disorganized or reactive? Your personal brand isn't just what you think it is. In fact, one of the most important truths about your brand is this. It's shaped by how others perceive you. That perception may or may not align with how you actually want to be seen, and here's why that matters. Because perception drives opportunities. Your brand will influence who wants to work with you, who trusts you with new responsibilities, and who sees you as someone worth investing in. Now, here's where courage comes into play. If you want to intentionally shape your brand, the one you want to be known for, you need to have the courage to ask a key question. What is my brand? And not just to anyone, but to someone you respect, someone who knows your work, who interacts with you often, and whose opinion you trust. It's a vulnerable question, right? But because asking what is my brand, it opens you up to hearing things that might surprise you or even things you don't want to hear. But it's also the only way to know how you're perceived. It's about seeking feedback, not to defend yourself, but to understand. Here's where humility comes in. Once you've asked, what is my brand? You have to be ready to listen, really listen. Maybe you think you're perceived as a strong communicator, but others see you as someone who cuts people off in meetings. Or perhaps you see yourself as a team player, but others feel you tend to dominate conversations. This is where the work begins. Because it's one thing to actually hear feedback about your brand, it's another to have the humility to accept it and commit to making the necessary changes to align your brand with the one that you actually want to project. Think of it this way. If you aren't aware of how others perceive you, it's important to bridge the gap between who you are and who you want to be. It's like navigating with a blindfold on. But when you ask for feedback and really take it in, you're taking control. You're choosing to invest in yourself. You're saying, I'm willing to do the hard work to ensure that the brand I project is the one that opens doors, builds trust, and reflects my values. So why is investing in your personal and professional brand so important? It's simple, really. Your brand is your reputation. It follows you from job to job, project to project, conversation to conversation. You might have the best skills in the world, but if your brand doesn't reflect those skills, if others don't see you as the person that you want to be known as, opportunities, they're going to pass you by. Here's an important truth. You can't control everything about your brand, but you can control a lot. You control how you show up. You control how prepared you are. You control your attitude, your work ethic, your ability to listen, your willingness to collaborate. And by controlling these things consistently, you shape the narrative of your brand. But again, perception is key, and that's why asking others what your brand is, their perception of you, becomes such a vital part of the process. You might be putting in all the work to be seen as a reliable leader, but if others perceive you as scattered or disengaged, then you've got some work to do to close that gap. So how do you get started? Well, here's a practical way to embrace the courage to ask about your brand, listen with humility, and commit to shaping the brand that you want to be known for. Step one, right? Identify someone whose opinion you respect. This could be a mentor, a colleague, a leader, or even a peer. Choose someone who you know will be honest with you, someone who knows your work and has insight into how others also might see you. Step 2, schedule a conversation with them. Ask the question, what is my brand? Frame it in a way that shows that you're actually genuine about receiving and seeking that feedback. For example, you might say, I've been thinking a lot about how I'm perceived in the workplace, and I want to make sure I'm projecting the right brand. From your perspective, what do you think my brand is? Step 3, listen. Now, this is the hard part. Listen. Resist the urge to explain, justify, or push back. Just listen. Take notes. Let that feedback sink in. Step 4 is reflect. Ask yourself, is this feedback in line with the brand I want to be known for? If it's not, don't see this as a failure. See it as an opportunity. It's your chance to start bridging that gap. Finally, step 5, take action. Commit to making the changes that will align your brand with the perception that you want others to have. This might mean adjusting your communication style, changing how you prepare for meetings, or becoming more consistent in the way you deliver results. Whatever it is, take it one step at a time, but be intentional about it. Remember, your personal brand is a long-term investment. It takes time to build. It takes grit. But it's one of the most valuable assets that you have. When you're clear about the brand that you want to project and you're willing to listen and adjust based on feedback, you take control of your professional reputation. And that in turn opens doors, it builds trust, and positions you for success. So my challenge to you today is this. Muster the courage to ask, what is my brand? Have the humility to listen to the answer, and then commit to aligning your actions with the brand you want to be known for. It's not easy. It requires grit, but the best things never are. And if you do it consistently, the rewards are sure to follow. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Grit and Gain. If today's conversation inspired you, share it with a friend or colleague who could benefit from it. And remember, your personal brand is always evolving. You have the power to shape it and the courage to grow it into something truly remarkable. Until next time, stay focused, stay courageous, and keep building the brand you're proud to own. Thanks for listening.